My husband, 34, works at a private high school where he coaches football and teaches PE and health. I, 29 female, work part-time from home. About 4 months ago, my husband came home one day looking out of it. He wasn't hungry for dinner. He told me he wanted to have a couple of beers and zone out in front of the TV. This is highly irregular for him, but I decided not to push the topic. Later that evening, he informed me that he had an argument with a student and that I may be hearing more about it. He described it as a his word against mine issue. Again, I didn't want to press the issue. Over the last 4 months, more details about the case have trickled in. He has actually become pretty open about it. First, it wasn't an argument, it was a physical altercation. He grabbed the kid's collar, pulled him up to his face and yelled at him. It wasn't also a his word against mine issue. An entire class of students witnessed the situation during class. Now, the boy he grabbed has attendance issues, which his parents blame on my husband. To be perfectly honest, I would too. The worst part about this is that the kid's parents initially said they just wanted my husband's apology and a signed document admitting what he did in exchange for them not pursuing litigation against him. My husband refused because he legitimately seemed to believe he was right. Last night he told me that the parents weren't bluffing. They've hired a lawyer and they're going to take him to civil court personally. At this point, something in me flipped. I yelled at him for the first time in our relationship. I said that if he loses this civil case, which he obviously will, seeing he was objectively in the wrong, I'm divorcing him. He gave me a shocked look and accused me of not supporting him when he was down. I responded that he brought this upon us and that he should grovel and beg for their forgiveness. Now he refuses to talk to me. I may have gone too far with what I said. Was there a better way I could have approached this? Am I the idiot for telling my husband that I'm divorcing him if he loses the civil case against him? Edit, my husband lost his temper because the student antagonized him in his class for months. The reason why my husband hasn't been put on leave or let go is that everyone legitimately hates the kid and they wanted a full investigation before taking action against him. They realized that the kid was a huge troublemaker and it was unlike my husband to put his hands on him. My husband has no history of violence. The kid, who happens to be much larger than my husband, is an idiot through and through. He even harassed a female student pretty severely. So the kid who he grabbed is a high schooler who is bigger and stronger than him and has a history of girl harassment, harassment of faculty and hurting other students. Still, somehow your husband is in the wrong and needs to apologize to this kid's idiot parents who, instead of correcting their out-of-control son, have decided to start a lawsuit against your spouse. It's people like you who let monsters get away with being monsters. It doesn't matter how many people get hurt or suffer so long as you don't have to deal with it or be involved in the drama. You're in the wrong, OP, and I hope your husband finds a more supportive wife than you when he wins the civil lawsuit against him. You are the idiot. She even has the nerve to agree with the child's parents that he's dodging school because of the altercation and not because the child is consistently not interested in following rules. OP is the idiot for sure. OP, I understand being scared right now, but you must support him. He was being abused and finally snapped. Apologize to your husband for your outburst. Tell him it was the stress talking and come up with a game plan. I would have done the same as the husband. The kid is that one kid in school. Your husband is right. You've abandoned him because you, what, don't want to lose money? Is that all he is to you? You divorce him over this? Good riddance. He'd be good to be rid of a backstabbing deadweight like you. Honestly, to me, it seems like you're searching for a reason to divorce your husband. So I, 28 female, recently got the opportunity to purchase a house that has been in the family for quite a while, 80 plus years. I've stayed in the home with my parents rent-free for nearly my entire life. I occasionally contribute with groceries, dinners, household chores and yard work, but they've never charged me rent despite my offering. I work in public education and don't make great money, so it's been very helpful to save money. I started the purchase process and have locked in an interest rate and have nearly everything ready. The closing date is set for a month from now. I've asked my parents not to say anything to my sister, 26, until I close and start to move because we don't get along well and I don't want to deal with the fallout that I believe will come. She's also been living at home, but instead of saving money, she spends quite a bit. 2 new cars within 3 years, large tattoos, vacations, etc. She has a large storage unit filled with stuff she claims she's bought for when she buys a house. I don't care how much she spends her money, but she makes significantly more than me and has wiped most of her savings out by living like this. Instead of waiting like I asked, they went ahead and told her. They claimed it was too difficult to keep a secret and that she knew something was going on. Now she's basically throwing a tantrum saying that it isn't fair I get to buy a house and she doesn't, claiming that they never helped her with anything, etc. Every time she sees me, she's angry and starts a fight. I told them this was going to happen and they claim that they couldn't have known or didn't think she was going to act like this. I feel like I'm rightfully upset about this, but they say I'm acting like a child and need to just get over it. Am I the idiot? Edit, I'm not getting any kind of monetary discount on the house. I got the first offering because the relative selling it asked me first and I said yes. I'm only getting the washer and dryer and snowblower they're leaving behind. My sister has been shown the house by my parents, now that she knows. I found this out about an hour ago, and she's commented on how ugly she thinks it is and that she hates it. She claims she wouldn't have wanted it anyway, but is still very angry about it all. Not the idiot, but I bet your sister will try to move in with you, and your parents will back her up. Don't even let her visit overnight because then she'll refuse to leave. Nobody gets keys. Be sure to change all the locks since it's a family house and get cameras. Congratulations. Point out to your sister that you aren't doing anything to stop her from buying a house. She needs to go to her credit union or bank and get pre-qualified for a mortgage. They'll tell her what they're willing to lend her. Then she should start looking. Something tells me they won't lend her much if at all if she's that bad with her money. That should shut her up. LOL, the sister will surely find a way to blame OP for not qualifying for a mortgage somehow. Lock everything down. Every time you think, oh, she won't do that. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. Your parents can't be trusted with anything, be it tangible or information. Don't trust them with keys, your realtor's name, the bank you're using, the moving company. Nothing. Bratty little McWitchface is now in, oh yeah, mode and will likely try to get back at you for what she sees as a slight, because it's all about her. My wife, 45, and I, 43 male, were having some drinks outside the other day and we had a good time. She said, I wish I brought my cigarettes, and I pulled them out of my pocket, as I'd anticipated that she would want to smoke. She said, wow, how did you know? I said, I can see the future, especially when you're drinking. She said, can you see our relationship's future? I said, of course. So she asked me, will we still be together or will we be divorced? I said, probably divorced, and she asked, when? So I said, I'll probably be tired of Peter's crap in about 4 years and have to bounce. Peter is my wife's son from a previous marriage. He's 24 years old. My wife and I have been together for 21 years. I raised this boy as my own and he's called me dad since he was 5. We have a great relationship. We've never had the "you're not my real dad" fight. We are good. However, I feel like my wife cuddles him and he is failing to launch, so to speak. He's at uni but has never had a job. His social circle is like 5 people that he is constantly online with. He very rarely leaves the house, or his room for that matter. My wife must remind him to shower every day, and she has to wake him up every day. He will not wake up to an alarm, mainly because he usually plays online games until 6 or 7 a.m. He's not a bad kid, he doesn't drink or smoke or do drugs. He doesn't listen to Andrew Tate. He's just kind of a nerdy shut-it. My wife is happy to have him live at home forever. I am not. I'm very worried for him. He cannot drive and doesn't want to learn. He's comfortable in his life and sees no reason to grow. I stress the fact that he's an adult now to my wife many times, but he will always be her baby. Honestly, it's killing me to watch her enable him. Whenever I try to encourage him to get a part-time job or get out of the house, she tells me off and asks me to leave him alone. I feel like a failure as a parent, but I'm happy he's staying out of trouble. He could do so much more though. He's very bright. I'll say to her, what if we died tomorrow? What would happen to him? He would have to do a lot of growing up very quickly. Maybe we should push him a little bit now, but she won't hear it. Anyway, she lost her temper with me. How could you divorce me because of Peter? He'll be fine. Everyone develops at different speeds, etc. I get it. I know. I think she also feels like we failed him by over-providing and she doesn't want to hear it. But guys, I can't sit around forever if this is the trajectory. I pray he snaps out of it, finishes uni, he's now a junior at year 4, he doesn't take a full course load, yes, we are paying for everything, gets a job and grows up. But if not, I can't see myself supporting him and her forever. I feel like leaving might actually be good for both of them. I contribute 80% to the household finances. She works part-time. Anyway, I don't really think it'll come to that. I have faith in the kid. I was just 50-50 joking and serious with my 4-year timeline. 4 years is a long time, right? The fact that she was upset is upsetting me. Does she think he'll be doing the exact same stuff 4 years from now? She thinks I'm an idiot because I'm giving an ultimatum, and she doesn't care how long he stays at home. So, am I the idiot here? You are the idiot. This was incredibly blindsiding. Like you and your wife are having a joking banter back and forth type conversation, and then you slip in a jab saying, I'm going to divorce you in 4 years if Peter doesn't change. You tried to avoid having a real conversation about it and just tried to pass off the ultimatum as a joke. It failed. Buck up and have a real conversation instead of trying to hide it behind jokes that are just passive-aggressive. It's not Peter's crap you're sick of, OP. Damn, this is so accurate. Would you be leaving because of Peter or because of your wife? I think it sounds like you're more unhappy than you realise, and it's not all about Peter. The situation with Peter is just the situation that's highlighting the other problems, like that your wife, despite you being in Peter's life for 21 years, apparently doesn't give your feelings or opinions any weight whatsoever. That she acts as if she is Peter's only parent and can and will overrule you no matter what. That even though Peter's situation directly affects every single aspect of your life, you don't deserve a voice about it or even the respect to be heard instead of dismissed. The only reason you brought it up is because there is some truth there. Your problem is less Peter and more your marriage, and unless your wife is willing to communicate and maybe go to a counsellor or media or therapist, I suspect your prediction for your future is more accurate than you realised. A little background. I'm a 52-year-old man, and I just recently found out that my youngest daughter, who's 22, is getting married. She lives in Washington and works as an elementary school teacher. She doesn't come home often as she has her own life far from where we live. She recently came home for her brother's, also my son's, baby shower as he and his wife are expecting their 4th child. I was happy to see her, but was surprised when I saw a middle-aged man with her. She then told me he was her fiancé. My ex-wife and girlfriend were so happy, as were my kids and my daughter-in-law. I then found out my daughter was marrying a 42-year-old man. I was shocked and automatically did not approve. This man was only 10 years younger than me, and I didn't appreciate him dating my young daughter. My family talked to him, and he's a good guy. He's got his own contracting business and makes a lot of money. However, I couldn't shake the thought of this grown man taking advantage of my daughter. I was very uncomfortable, and to make it worse, I found out she started dating him when she was 18. I nearly blew a gasket because all I could think was my barely legal daughter dating a then 38-year-old man. The next weekend, she called me and asked if I'd saved the date as that's when she'd be getting married. She said her fiancé opted to pay for the immediate family's flights to Washington. I told her it wouldn't be a problem as I wouldn't be attending. She asked why, and I told her I didn't feel comfortable with her marrying a man 20 years older than her. She told me she loved him and he loved her, and that after they got married, he told her she wouldn't have to work. He'd support her. She decided she loved working and was okay with continuing to work. He was fine with that. I told her I understood all that, but I couldn't shake the icky feeling of my daughter practically marrying someone who could be her father. She told me she'd be heartbroken if I didn't attend because she wanted me to walk her down the aisle as she dreamed. While I felt guilty, I stuck to my guns. She hung up on me, and when I got home, my girlfriend asked why I wouldn't attend the wedding, and I told her my reasons. She said that wasn't good enough and that this was an important day for my daughter. My ex-wife was also angry, as was my other daughter. The only one who sided with me was my son, as he would also not be attending due to not wanting to see that, as it disgusted him for his younger sister to be marrying an older man, as well as his wife's issue with flying since she was close to having her baby. Now, as I write this, my ex-wife informed me my daughter was crying her eyes out over the phone due to my son and I not attending her wedding. She said she didn't want to get married if her brother and dad weren't there, and she actually called the wedding off after months of planning. Her dream wedding, she and her fiancé decided to elope instead, then take their honeymoon to Switzerland. I feel terrible as I know my daughter has been so excited about the wedding she planned. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. 38-year-old dating an 18-year-old and kept it a secret from the family till she was 22, and she'd been persuaded to give up her new career and job after marriage? Geez, what could go wrong? There weren't any wedding bells, but OMG, there are alarm bells and red flags all over this. What's done is done, but please, even though it's painful, keep communication open so she knows she has a way out if she ever needs it. Her fiancé sounds predatory and concerning, and if she believes she's lost you guys now, she'll probably feel like she can't leave because she won't have anything or anyone. Stop it. The fiancé did not persuade her to give up her career. He said that he was fine with her not working, but she said she loved it and wanted to, and he was fine with it. And if they lived far away and started dating at 18, that would mean the daughter was living on her own, and Opie was not around enough to even know she was dating. Opie let his emotions take over. He's an idiot. He needs to play the long game, so if there are problems, she'll come to him.